Hey. All right. What's happening, everybody? I believe we are live right now. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So we're casting live to several different platforms. So I'm just going to give it a little bit here while each one of these algorithms kind of does its thing and broadcasts and let people know that we're on. I want to talk really specifically today about why are we seeing so many homes failing to sell and come off the market. Today alone, I've got over 30 properties that came off the market. And those are only properties in my area. So we're talking Plano, Frisco, Prosper, Salina, McKinney, also within price ranges of, the similar homes that we sell here on our team. So this is not all of them. These are literally just 30 homes today that we would say, fits our ideal client that came off the market, failed to sell. And I'm going to share with you guys why we are seeing so many homes failing to sell. And I know it's easy to say, well, that's because the real estate market is shifting and we're in a housing bubble and home values are decreasing. That's what you would believe. But I'm going to share with you the reality of why these homes are actually selling or not selling. I apologize, not selling. And it actually has nothing to do with the overall real estate market as far as home value depreciation. It's actually the opposite, because the newest stat that came out for this month says that year over year, we are up over 8% in home value appreciation. So that is phenomenal news. That is another strong year, because historically, we're only looking at about 3.5% annual appreciation. That's a really nice, balanced, stable real estate market. So to be at 8%, year over year price appreciation says the market is really strong. Well, if the market is strong, why are we seeing 30 homes come off the market in just one day? And there's a couple of things that I want to share with you, just in case you're thinking about buying, or maybe you're a buyer, or you're thinking about selling, and you're concerned about what's happening with the market. I see for sale signs in my neighborhood going up. Homes don't look like they're selling as fast, and it's kind of got you on the fence about selling. Or if you're a buyer and you're like, hey, I think the market is crashing, I'm going to wait and kind of sit on the fence. I'm going to educate you and let you know the reality of what's happening right now. And the number one reason I am seeing so many homes fail to sell is because people, again, this is, sellers want to get as much money as possible. I understand that. I appreciate that. And the thing is, we have to look at the reality of the market. And if you are using a CMA, if your realtor is using a CMA, a comparative market analysis, if they're bringing you a list of sold comparables in the last 6 months, that is doing such a huge injustice, and will be why you're one of these 30 homes just today that failed to sell. And here's why. In a market like this, where the market is changing so quickly, you cannot be looking backwards in a rear view mirror trying to price and position your home. So the number one reason why so many homes are failing to sell is because of a lack of exposure. Now, exposure is marketing, positioning, pricing. Everything goes into how you expose a home. And if you are pricing your home based on what homes sold for in January, February, March, April, May, or June, well, unfortunately, you will misposition your home. You will price it incorrectly, not understanding the shift that has happened in the real estate market. You have to be looking at interest rates and what interest rates have done. Every time interest rates move, there's an impact on the market, and it lags a little bit. We feel those changes usually a few weeks later. So right now we are seeing a lag because rates peaked over 7%. And for anybody who's keeping track with the Federal Reserve, we do, I believe tomorrow, the 2nd of November, we're anticipating another increase, probably 3/4 of a basis point. That's going to have an impact again on the market. So you cannot use past sales, old data, comparable sales to position your home in this type of market. You need to be forward thinking. You need to look 90 days out. Where is the market going? So it's a completely different philosophy on how you market and position a home in today's real estate market than in previous markets. So again, you can't look backwards at sales comparables. We need to be projecting 90 days out. Where's the market going? And that's where we need to be positioning your home. Now, a couple other things I noticed, because I send out mail, as you can see, to every single home every day that comes on the market that fails to sell. And it's very clear. We tell them, hey, I know, and I know it's a little, I know why your home didn't sell. Give me a call. And I know that can turn some people off. But the truth is, I know why homes are not selling. And part of the reason is, how are you being marketed? Exposure, the number one reason. Here's an example. I want to cover the address here, but here's an example of an MLS sheet. And if you look right here, this is a description of this home. And it is an area where the agent can list all of the rooms, let you know the size of the rooms and any features that room includes. For example, primary bedroom. Does it have a walk-in closet? Is it on the first floor, second floor? How big is it? Does it have a suite attached to it? Do you have split vanities? Do you have a makeup area? Do you have separate shower and tub? Do you have a soaking tub? All of those things. Now, what people don't realize is what's put on this sheet is then broadcast to Zillow, Realtor, Trulia, in every other website that your home gets marketed to. So if you have blank space or missing data or just not a complete listing, that absolutely has an impact on how your home is being marketed and probably impacting a lack of exposure, because we have to understand that 95 to 98% of buyers are on the internet. That is where they're starting their home search. And if your listing comes up and you don't have phenomenal photos and you have an incomplete, description of the home, most buyers in today's market are going to skip that property and move on to the next. So that's why we know exposure is the number one way to impact whether a home sells and if a home actually sells for top dollar. So that's really, really important when we're talking about why we're seeing so many homes. So it's really twofold. It's exposure, but then it's mispositioning the home because most people aren't keeping up. They're looking backwards versus forward facing. The good news is home values are up. And most economists, people who forecast home values, anticipate home values to stay positive over the next couple of years, strictly, especially here in our local market. Now, every market is different. So let me start by saying every market is different, but every market is also hyper local. So you have to understand, I'm talking about North Dallas. Our market is primed to continue to grow for several factors. Number one, there are still corporate relocations coming in all the time. These are big corporations bringing in great jobs, adding jobs to the local economy. It's also bringing people to relocate to the area. So that is a supply and demand. The more people coming in, the more homes we need for these people. And right now in our market, we're only at 3 months supply of inventory. So basically, we don't have enough homes based on the current demand. And as these people continue to come into our market, that supply and demand is going to stay more weighted to a seller's favorited market, which is basically less than 6 months of inventory. Anytime you're less than 6 months of inventory, that's going to be considered a seller's market. So we need to understand that. So again, just a quick recap. Why are we seeing so many homes failing to sell? Today alone, 30 homes. Now, this is not my whole market. There were hundreds. These are strictly homes that I am targeting because they're in my geographical area. They're in the price range that we service, that are our ideal mix here. There was 30 homes. That's a big day. And we're seeing 5, 6, 7, 10 every day, just to kind of put it in perspective. So we're probably seeing in a month, I would say in a month, we're probably seeing 150 to 250 homes fail to sell every single month now. So again, number one reason is lack of exposure, getting these homes exposed properly to the right buyer. Also, lack of exposure in getting these homes positioned correctly price-wise based on the reality of today's current market and where we're going in the next 90 days, especially knowing interest rates are going to continue to go up. So if you're a seller, you're on the market, or maybe you're one of these sellers that is watching today and your home came off the market, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be a little bit pissed off, right? Like everyone's talking about how great the market is. How come your home didn't sell? And the truth is you got caught in a transitioning market. The market is getting out of the pandemic and more to a pre-pandemic state. We're going back to where the numbers were in 2019. So it feels different, but it's still a great real estate market. And it's hard to get people to wrap their head around it because it feels so different. And let me give you the best way to kind of wrap your head around this. If your home was worth $800,000, it's still worth $800,000. The difference is buyers aren't going to come in and pay you $900,000, $100,000 over, which is what they were doing for the last 2 years. People need to go back and look at where were those homes originally priced. I know they sold for a wild, crazy number, but where were they priced? Because that was the market value we set. Buyers just went crazy, relocation buyers, bidding wars, and that fueled this market. But that wasn't what homes were worth. That's what people were willing to pay at that time. Well, now because interest rates have gone up, inventory has gone up, there's a big section of buyers, a market segment that can no longer afford a home. If you were in the market at $500,000 at 3%, well, now that you're at 7%, 3 to 7, that's 4%. That means you lost 40% of your purchasing power. And if you were approved at 500, that means you lost $200,000. It means the max you can get approved for today is 300,000. And that might have priced you out of the market. So that segment of the buyer pool is gone. So we have fewer buyers, but with a little bit more inventory. And now we have 7% interest rate. So all of that is playing a mix into the shifting, changing market, but home values are still holding strong. What you're seeing is not a depreciation of home values. Let me repeat that. You are not seeing home value depreciation. You're seeing the rate at which home values go up. It's been like this. It's been a straight vertical line. That rate of appreciation is decelerating. It went from 23% to 8%. And we're probably going to see 2% next year, maybe 3%. And that's going to stay steady for a couple of years moving forward. So it's still going up, but instead of like this, it's kind of more gentle. Very much what is normal. And it's hard for people to wrap their head around things are going back to normal. And if you watch the news and the media, well, everything is doom and gloom. And they're going to take one market somewhere, where there's 10 houses and, one didn't sell. And now percentage wise, the market is crashing. And that's the national headline. But you have to remember this. Real estate is and will always be a very hyper local product. Even when the market crashed in 2008, which was way different because there was a mortgage issue, there was bad money. None of that exists right now. There were still markets where home values didn't go down more than 5 to 10%. Texas probably went down 8 to 10%. While parts of California were down 40, 50, 60, 70%. Nevada, 50, 60, 70%. I was in Connecticut at that time, and we saw home values go down 50, 60, 70%, same as Florida. But there was markets that stayed strong. So it's hyper local, and we have to understand you can't listen to a national headline and think that's exactly what is happening here in DFW. So my goal is always to share and tell people, hey, here's the reality of what's happening in the market. But again, why are we seeing so many homes? That's the question. And people want to know, is that because the housing market, it's a bubble? Is it popping? Is home values going down? None of that is true. What I am seeing time and time again is these homes are not being exposed correctly. They're missing information that buyers want to see. So you got to ask yourself, go look at your home online. See how it's being marketed to prospective buyers. Are we giving them all the data they need? Are we giving them floor plans? Are we giving them information about the neighborhood, the subdivision? Are we giving them room sizes, features, amenities, finishes, things that is going to entice a buyer to get off of their computer and schedule a tour through your home, because that's the name of the game. Get people from online to in person to come tour your home. If you do that, you will still win as a seller, but it all comes down to being more aggressive on how you position your home and getting it properly exposed to the market in the right buyers. I'd love your guys' feedback. Let me know what your thoughts are, whether you agree, disagree. I always love to debate this. I'm just kind of sharing what I've learned over nearly 20 years in real estate, doing a lot of homes. We specialize in homes that fail to sell, coming back, remarketing them properly, and getting them sold. And many times we're getting them sold at or above what they just came off the market, because it was more of an exposure challenge. And again, that talks about price. That talks about property condition. That talks about quality of marketing, pictures and video. Exposure encompasses a lot. So, is your home getting professionally cleaned before it goes on the market? Is it getting professional staging or a cleanup, what we call a touch-up, where we bring stagers in to really get the home positioned well to showcase the best features of the home? Is that how your home was brought to the market? And if not, that could impact on how buyers view your home. So there's a lot that goes into why homes are not selling, but we call it a lack of exposure or properly exposing it to the market. That's the number one factor we see. So again, couple of tips. If your home is on the market, go look at it online. Make sure it's showing up the way you want it to show up. Make sure you're really highlighting the value of the home to get people from online to in person. Now, if you are one of those people who your home came on the market, failed to sell, you don't have to give up on what your dreams or aspirations were. We understand when people are buying or selling homes, it's really so they can move on to the next phase or chapter of their life. You don't have to give up on those things. Just because your home didn't sell once doesn't mean it won't sell. Doesn't mean anything's wrong with your home. You might just need a new, fresh perspective in a marketing plan to help get your home positioned to sell correctly. If you find yourself in that boat, give me a call. I'll talk absolutely free. We do not pressure any of our people. I'll answer any questions. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on why I thought it didn't sell and what could be done to get your home sold moving forward. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. I just wanted to share that. It was a busy day. I still have a bunch to go through, but as I was looking at 30 properties and noticing, we marked these properties up, and as I'm going through and I'm looking and I'm circling the same area over and over and over on a lot of these listings, you start to see a repetitive trend and some challenges. And then you understand why so many homes are failing to sell in today's new changing market as it kind of gets back to those pre-pandemic levels and normalizes. So if you guys have any questions, feel free, reach out. I could not see the comments. So if you were engaging, leaving comments, I apologize. I will come back and I will respond to those once this video is done. But for some reason, we could not see any of those comments in our feed here today. But appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.